Yes, people, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. Just want to do a quick one here on this brilliant interview by Ryan Fraser post Brentford yesterday after the 2-0 win at Brentford. Fraser getting an assist, Fraser being instrumental. He's interviewed by the BBC on For Match of the Day and on Newcastle United's website, so I'm going to run through some of the big things that he said yesterday. Basically, absolutely throwing Brucey under the bus and praising Eddie Howe and everything he has done and changed at the club since he's came in. Ryan Fraser on Match of the Day said, "I could keep you here all day to tell you about the things Eddie has changed. The teamwork, the philosophy, everything. Bringing the lads together, bringing that spirit together, even going into the training ground and seeing things that inspire you on the walls. It's been massive." So look at that. I mean, so Eddie Howe's obviously, I'm looking there as if I've got it on my wall. I know what he's talking about. Oh, that's the same thing, Eddie. Yeah, I've got the same thing up as well. Yeah, great minds think alike. Eddie Howe's obviously just putting things on the wall. There's one there as well. Putting things on the wall. There is two walls this side, just in case. But Eddie Howe is putting things up on the training ground walls there, so the players, when they walk through the doors of that training ground shed, primary school, 1994 sentence, that they can see and they are motivated and it does inspire them. And things like that, it works. Do you know what I mean? They probably used to walk in the training ground and pictures of fucking David, and Les Ferdinand. And you could still keep them up. Great players, you know what I mean? Icons. But now he's putting out motivational quotes and inspiration and stuff. There's something on YouTube with Eddie Howe where Gary Lineker meets him and he goes around Bournemouth training ground. It's very similar. There's motivational quotes, inspiring quotes all over the place to lift the mood of the place, to lift the players. And it obviously works, with Ryan Fraser's talking about. It's little things like that you stand up and pay attention. But even Ryan Fraser the other week in an interview with NUFC as well also said, "I have to be careful what I say here," when asked what the difference was after the win at St James's the other week. Basically about the old management, and just said, but look, once Eddie Howe came in, there has been a massive difference. The training, the organisation, everything. Because now they've actually got a real fucking manager through the door who does his bastard job. Because Bruce used to have days off, late starts to the day, something just cancelled training, part-time man, a couple of days a week. Eddie Howe has actually got a structured and demanding professional programme in place now, with the lads come in early, leave late, put the graft in, have expectations, have standards, have actual professionalism. And that's how you're seeing the difference on the pitch. It's no wonder, 7 games unbeaten and they look a completely different side to the one when Brucey was here. And they were just fluking results and just winging it, absolutely winging it. Be like me on a fucking French exam. Do you know what I mean? Just winging it. Brucey's winging life, winging managerial jobs, way out of his depth, way past his time. Eddie Howe's coming in, he prepares for his exams, he speaks brilliant French. Do you know what I mean? An analogy there, don't know if he does speak French. But he does his bloody homework, he does his job. Yeah? He puts the graft in, he puts the work in, he's instrumental, he's hard working, he's dedicated, he's intelligent, he's very articulate. Do you know what I mean? But let's get into what Ryan Fraser has also said in more depth there. Then, ever since the gaffers came in, there has been a huge change in spirit. There's a belief we can win when we go out on that pitch. Prior to the old times of Brucey, where it was please go on the pitch and don't get beat 3-0. I'll take a 1-0. I'll definitely take a 0-0, lads. I'll take 38 0-0s a season if I can. No one questions it. No one questions Eddie Howe. That to me sounds like people used to, every one of the players, probably used to question Brucey and think, what the fuck are we doing here? We all get our jobs and he's putting us out there to win the game. So again, people actually know what they're doing now. It takes us back to, remember, Brucey's first game against Arsenal, Jethro Williams coming on, didn't know where he was fucking playing. And they were conceded that goal, didn't know where he was playing. Same thing there, where he says now he's putting us out there with no jobs. That's what I mean about before. Brucey just completely winging it back in the day, just winging it. And now Eddie Howe's actually putting them out there with serious instructions and deploying a strategy, which that should be the crack anyway. But you'd be surprised at how many clubs don't, especially the old school managers. But to go 7 unbeaten, winning 4 of them is unbelievable from where we've been. Fucking tell me about it, we can't believe it either, Ryan. You get the top 16 of the stroke, they go 7 beaten on times. It's brilliant and the lads are buzzing for it. Again, that whole mentality around the club has completely switched since Howe's came in. The togetherness, the spirit, the desire, the buzz. People keep on saying the buzz around the training ground. Matty Target the other week was saying it's a great place to be. It was an awful place to be when Brucey was here. It was awful. The gaffer told us to go on and win 3 or 4-0 at half time, but at 2-0, a clean sheet and getting 3 points is all that matters. Look at that, Eddie Howe striving for more. If we were 2-0 at Brentford, Brucey, he would have put fucking 11 people behind the ball, tried to hold out for it, probably would have drew 2-2. You were just sat back and invited the pressure. Not Newcastle, not Eddie Howe's Black and White Army. Let's go out there, lads. Let's get 3 or 4, put this to bed. Love to hear that, you know. Love to hear actually going out and trying to win games instead of just blowing it or keeping it tight and all that bollocks. The game plan is a lot clearer now under Eddie Howe. We know when to counter and keep the ball in transition, so it's been brilliant. In the hotel before the game, Eddie Howe, in the pre-match meeting, said, "Do you want to be hunted or be the hunter?" We jumped 3 places, Dave. We won, and that little bit of motivation before we came to the ground was important. Now we need to keep being the hunter and get up as far as we can. Although we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, we can still finish quite high up on the table. Do you want to be the hunter or do you want to be hunted? Brilliant stuff. Eddie Howe saying to the lads, go out there, win the day, we claim a few places, people start hunting us, instead of all season and every year, for the last few years, we've been the hunter. Do you know what I mean? We've been hunting the pack, trying to get out of trouble. If we're the ones that are 14th now, we're the ones being hunted. Do you know what I mean? So it changes the mindset. It changes how you're thinking going into games. You're now looking up instead of looking down. Do you know what I mean? That's a brilliant quote to motivate the lads, and it clearly worked. Went out there and got the 3 points, and now we are in that position mid-table, very tight down there. But if we didn't get the job done yesterday, look, we would have been, 1 point above relegation, whatever it is. So Eddie Howe, man. Brian Fraser saying it there, the change there. You couldn't be any more day and night between Bruce and Howe, could you? Bruce, old, past it, lazy, stubborn, shite. Eddie Howe, young, exciting, adventurous, and articulate. Great. Leave it on that. Ryan Fraser, thank you. Good stuff. Like the honesty. Love it. Love it. Love to hear it. Be able to see what's happening at the club. Hear from him himself and praising the manager. And as much as you can, little digs at Bruce here and there the last couple of weeks. Fantastic, well deserved, well said. Let us know what you think of those comments, the change Eddie Howe has done at Newcastle United Football Club. Subscribe to my channel TV and enjoy yourself.